Hello you, what I'd like to show you today is how I'm using the Korg Electribe for performance, and I'm getting a much more control over it because I am using, because I'm able to control it using MIDI. So I'm able to control it externally using MIDI. So for this proof of concept I'm using this MIDI device here, which I've hooked up to the computer, and it means I can control and I can see all the messages it's sending and experiment with this Electribe. But it's not guesswork, because the Electribe parameter guide actually tells you a list of CCs that you can use to remotely control using MIDI for various parts, etc. Or some are across the whole song and some of them are specific to parts. So the list it gives you can control is CC number 7 gives you the amplifier level, which is this knob here. Oops. CC 10 gives you the amplifier pan. 71 gives you the filter resonance. 72 gives you the envelope generator decay release. 73 gives you the envelope generator attack. 74 gives you the filter cutoff frequency. 80 gives you the oscillator pitch. 81 gives you the oscillator glide. 82 gives you the oscillator edit. 83 gives you the filter envelope generator intensity. 85 gives you the modulation depth, and 86 the modulation speed. 87 gives you the edit over the insert effects per part, and then 102 gives you the X, and 103 gives you the Y for the master effects. 104 gives you the insert effects on and off button. 105 gives you the master effects send on and off per part, and 106 switches on and off the master effects in the first place. So there's a lot of parameters that you can change per part. And give you a clear example, the level, the first one, CC7. So it's much easier to change the levels over here than it is to go, right, this part here, I'm going to change the level, I'm going to make that whatever. And then now I want to change the level of this part, I've got to go over here, make sure I'm in the right place, and then I can change the level of this one. How much easier it is to just go easier that is. And that's just the level parameter. I've also got the filter cutoff frequency, which I've set up on here. Let me give you some examples. Give you one of these. Part 2. Let's put it up to the maximum volume. You can hear on there I've got the MFX send on for that part, but I've configured this button so that it turns it off. See now? There's no MFX for part 2. But I could increase maybe my my insert effects edit. I've got on this knob here. You can hear I've got a delay. I can have more and more or less of that delay. I've got my oscillator edit, which you can see on the screen actually. I can change the nature of my oscillator. So I can make some quite dramatic changes without actually having to touch the Electribe anymore. And here's the filter, of course. Put the MFX back on. And I can increase that reverb I've got on the MFX, or I can decrease it. But that's affecting, I believe, the whole. It's one MFX for the whole Electribe, it does not per part. But that's what I'm using this fader for. And then I've got, another part here. both of those are sending to their master effects chain, as you can hear. I could turn them both off. I could increase the delay for both. See how much easier it is for me to change these values on multiple parts at the same time. Compare that to having to go now this one, now that one, now this one, now that one. It's much, much easier. Let's give you another example. So let's go with this sound here. There's a pad sound on here, number 6. Yeah, I can change the filter obviously on it. It's not going to my MFX, is it? I can switch it on though. And the insert effects I've used on this one is Pumper. The reverb was washing over the pumper. But you see, I can change the intensity of my pumper using that one. This sound over here, I've got some noise coming from this monotron delay, and you can probably hear there's a resonance coming from the filter. If I change the filter, and my resonance is here. Again, I can switch on the pumper effect. So the other 8 parts, obviously I don't have any control over them from here, so I'm using that for my percussion, which obviously I can just use the part mute. So this is kind of the only part of the Electribe now I have to use. I can do the rest over here. But there you go. That's how I'm using the Electribe. So the plan is to, now I've proved the process, the plan is to eliminate the use of a computer entirely and replace it with a USB host MIDI interface like this. So that will be my next step in this process. Thanks for watching.